All right, so Jeet Kune Do, Monday, April 13th, 2020. Let's bow the class back in Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. All right, and so this is our fourth week, our fourth class. We're really building things up here, and it is getting kind of important at this point. If you really want a full sense of what we're doing, go back and make sure you've watched the previous classes, because that's going to make your learning, accelerate, and it's going to make the most out of our time. To start, I want to make sure everybody's got the 3 pieces of footwork that I start with. So let's get in a right lead. And our Baizhang is supposed to have some requirements, expectations. It's really important, if we're thinking about a traditional Baizhang, that we're up off that rear heel. Everybody should start, my first level starts with having the dominant side in front. So if you're right-handed, you're in a right lead. If you're left-handed, you're in a left lead. And that's how we start in the very first level. Step and slide is the first footwork. I like all of these because they're named after what you do, so they're easy to remember. So let me start. I have obviously limited room here. To advance, I step the lead and slide the rear. So advance, advance, advance. And then step and slide retreat. I step the lead, I step the rear and slide the lead. Retreat, retreat, retreat. And then what we really should do is, the minute we learn that, we should change leads, and we should play with step and slide, advance, 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 and step and slide, retreat, retreat, retreat. All right, we'll go back to the other side. Slide step, that's number 2. And again, it's named after what you do. So to advance, slide the rear and step the lead. Slide step, slide step, slide step. I know my feet have exited the frame. To retreat, slide the lead and step the rear. Slide step, slide step, slide step. Then I should immediately change leads. I have a pretty advanced group here. Raw beginners, I would only put them on their dominant side, but since I have so much experience here, honestly, work it on your other side. Slide, step, advance, 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 and retreat, retreat, retreat. What you want to avoid is finishing with your feet together and finishing with your feet too far apart. All of these should be, whether it's step and slide or slide, step, or step and slide, you should be maintaining the distance of your feet. And then the last one, I say the easiest one for the last one, is we get to work both leads just by doing it, is step through, step through, step through, and then step through, retreat, step through, retreat, step through, retreat. When you're doing that one, try to put your attention into raising what becomes the rear heel, so that you're working your Baizhang stance here. Okay, so we start off with footwork. 3 pieces of footwork: step and slide, slide, step, step through. Okay, get back in your dominant side in the front. So whatever lead, for righties, you're in a right lead, lefties, you're in a left lead, okay? SDA, single direct attack. We learn the basic tools by themselves. We have our jab, lead straight punch. We have our cross, our rear straight punch. Just like I was saying in the kids class, some boxing coaches differentiate between a straight right hand, a straight rear hand and a cross. I don't have time for all that. If it comes from the rear side and it's straight, we're calling it a cross. So my jab, my cross, my hook, my body hook, my lead uppercut, my rear uppercut, my lead overhand, I hit with the knuckles, rear overhand, lead hammer fist, rear hammer fist. Those are the basics, and I will happily stipulate and acknowledge that the addition of the hammer fists is a little Ponantukan-esque, but it is what it is, okay? Get in the opposite lead that you were just in. If you're in a right, get in a left, and vice versa. Make sure you understand your jab. Make sure you understand your cross, your hook, your body hook, your lead uppercut, your rear uppercut, your lead overhand, your rear overhand, your lead hammer fist, your rear hammer fist. Okay? There's so many ridiculous things in the JKD community that people like to waste their time arguing about. Number one, a lot of people, when they find out that my main influence is Guru Inosanto, they're very surprised to learn that I have a separate Jeet Kune Do curriculum, that I haven't done like a mix of all the arts. The mix of all the arts is what I do in the kids program because that's kind of what I have time for, but I have a separate JKD curriculum. Then people are kind of, well, oh, you're an Inosanto guy. They're a little shocked to hear that I start everybody with the dominant side in front. The real goal of JKD is not to be dependent on a lead. The real goal of JKD is to be bilateral and just to be able to react, because the notion, if I get in a fight, I'm going to get in my best Baizhang stance and they're going to get in their best Baizhang stance. That is a luxury that usually exists in sparring in the academy or gym setting, but not so much. So what we learn with the dominant side in front in the first level of my curriculum, which would be Junfan level 1, immediately we learn it in the orthodox lead at the next level, because the goal is to eliminate lead dependency. All right, so we started with SDA, single direct attack. Now we're going to ABC, attack by combination. So start back with your dominant side in front, okay? So boxing 3 counts, triple jab, jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, hook, jab, cross, body hook, jab, cross, uppercut. Make sure the uppercut comes off your face. Jab, cross, lead hammer fist. Lead hammer fist. Yep. And then jab, cross, lead overhand. Change leads. Normally I would have you do everything in both leads, but we're going to kind of mix the list of boxing 3 counts. Cross, jab, cross. Cross, jab, cross. Cross, hook, cross. Cross, hook, cross. Cross, body hook, cross. Cross, body hook, cross. Cross, uppercut, cross. Cross, uppercut, cross. Cross, overhand, cross. Cross, overhand, cross. Cross, hammer fist, cross. Cross, hammer fist, cross. Change your lead again. Lead uppercut, rear uppercut, hook. So lead uppercut, rear uppercut, hook. Rear uppercut, lead uppercut, cross. Rear uppercut, lead uppercut, cross. Starting for the last 2, start and finish with your rear hand. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist. Hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist. Okay, so we have to have the Western boxing fundamentals in place. Very first level in my curriculum, which is Junfan level 1, and I'll explain that if you haven't seen previous videos. I teach the SDAs, so they learn the basic punches, and then they get familiar with that entire list of boxing 3 counts. And in the last few minutes, I mix and match the leads. In Junfan level 1, the requirement is to learn all of those with the dominant side forward. And then Junfan level 2 to learn that in an orthodox lead. Because again, we're promoting bilateralism straight out the gate, okay? So going back to SDAs, the level I have in front of me is very high. I imagine all of you know how to throw a roundhouse kick. So when I introduced the roundhouse kick as an SDA, single direct attack, 2 methods, and we kind of touched on this in the kids class. Lean back and just let that kick go, or is the pendulum. So it's like doing a slide step, but it's a slide kick. And then for training, you can either set your weight, excuse me, let me restart that. For training, you can either set your weight forward, or you can play with pendulum in and pendulum back. Both of those are good. But our goal in Junfan level 1 is to develop a non-telegraphic lead, now-tech, or roundhouse kick. That's our goal. Now, everybody at home, depending on your flexibility, if you can kick people in the head, that's awesome. If you can't, and your flexibility is limited, well, the majority of the good targets are below the waist anyway. So it's all going to work out, okay? So just play with those for just a moment without, this is very important, without taking a little step and then kicking. No preparation, just lean back and let that kick go. That's the first way. Or pendulum, fall into your left lead, or pendulum and come back. Just play with those for just a moment. Beautiful. Everybody looks great. Okay, so here's the part where I will just straight up stipulate to something. What I'm about to go over with you was really developed by Guru Inosanto after Bruce Lee had passed away, after the backyard group, when classes started to get big. Because when classes started to get big, when there was 20, 30, 40 people on the floor, that's a different situation than the legendary backyard group. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the people in the backyard group. I've put a lot of time and energy. Inosanto, contemporary Inosanto JKD is my base, but I've put in a lot of hours with Sifu Tim Tackett's group and offshoots of that group. I have a first level certification now from the Junfan Gung Fu Institute of Seattle. While Guru and I'm even calling him Guru in a JKD class because that's how I know him. While Inosanto JKD is my base, I've made the time to go out and study with other people, and in particular, the Junfan Gung Fu Institute of Seattle was very important to me because that's the only other living person that was certified as an instructor by Bruce Lee is Sigung Taki. And, in full transparency, he turned 96 when I was just there in the beginning of March. Really, things are being run by Sifu Andy, his son. But that was still very important to me to research different approaches to JKD. So what we're about to do, this is coming from the Inosanto lineage, all right? And it was developed for larger groups. But I've seen Salem S. Lee, I've seen Damon Caro, I've seen Yori Nakamura, I've seen everybody who is anybody in the Inosanto JKD lineage warm up with this material. This material has become seminal Inosanto JKD. So it's all going to start and finish, and we did 3 out of 7 of these in the kids class. It's going to start and finish with a lead leg roundhouse kick. So it's a Now Tech sandwich, a roundhouse kick sandwich. Top piece of bread is a roundhouse kick. Bottom piece of bread is a roundhouse kick. Some punches are going to be in the middle. I know that's kind of a hokey visual, but people remember it that way. So number one, Now Tech, cross, hook, cross, Now Tech. So we roundhouse kick, cross, hook, cross, roundhouse kick. Let's make sure we have that. All right. Number one, number two, and number three are usually in reach for most people, their very first class, because it's a one punch difference. Number two is identical, but it's cross, body hook, cross in between the kicks. So Now Tech, cross, body hook, cross, Now Tech. All right. Number three is identical, but it's going to be cross, uppercut, cross in between the kicks. So Now Tech, cross, uppercut, cross, Now Tech. Good. Number four, it's your choice. Overhand, uppercut, overhand, or hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist in between the kicks, starting and ending with the rear side. So Now Tech, whichever one of those you chose, Now Tech. Very simple, beautiful. Number five, cross, body hook, head hook, cross in between the kicks. So this is the only one where one side punching goes twice in a row. So we go Now Tech, cross, body hook, head hook, cross, finish with a kick. Nice. Okay, number six. In between the kicks, just listen first. Cross, uppercut, uppercut, hook, cross. Switching sides every time. So kick, cross, lead uppercut, rear uppercut, hook, cross, finish with a kick. Beautiful. Okay. 7, and we're done. In between the kicks, you're going to cross, lead elbow, rear elbow, lead knee, rear knee. And for the knees, I don't want you to think like if you know Thai boxing, some knees come in and they spear and they break ribs. Those are great. That's just kind of not what we're doing here. What we're doing here, just leaning back and raising our knee into the groin. That's all we're doing. Okay? The elbows, I just want to say, think about boxing and think about how much emphasis we put on covering, because you know when you're in punching range, probably your partner is in punching range. Well, elbow range is even worse. So even if you just want to have this up, like this is the cover, the current cover in the WTBA, you can do that. You can do the old cover that we used to do. Just please don't do this, right? Elbow, elbow, because it doesn't make any sense. If you punch with good protection, you should elbow with good protection. So number 7 is Now Tech, cross, lead elbow, lead knee, rear knee, lead kick. Fantastic. So we start that. Oh, and you know what? I'm sorry, and I think I went into a left lead. So my apologies. So, but this is a simple clarification. Whatever lead you were just working in, do the opposite. Okay, and I'll walk you through those quickly so that you have it. First level of Jun Fan, we start with the dominant side in front. Second level of Jun Fan, we work in the opposite lead of the first level. So get in the opposite lead of wherever you were. And number 1 is cross, hook, cross in between the kicks. Let's all do it. Now Tech, cross, hook, cross, Now Tech. Number 2 is cross, body hook, cross in between the kicks. Ready? Now Tech, cross, body hook, cross, Now Tech. Beautiful. Okay. Number 3, cross, uppercut, cross in between the kicks. Kick, cross, uppercut, cross, finish with a kick. Number 4, starting with your rear hand, overhand, uppercut, overhand, or hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist, your choice. Kick, overhand, uppercut, overhand, or hammer fist, your choice. Finish with a kick. Nice job. Okay, that was 4. Number 5, cross, body hook, head hook, cross in between the kicks. Ready? Kick, cross, body hook, head hook with the same hand, cross, finish with a kick. Nice job. 6, cross, uppercut, uppercut, hook, cross, switching sides every single time. Here we go. Kick, cross, uppercut, uppercut, hook, cross, finish with that kick. All right, and then 7, we're done. Kick, cross, lead elbow, lead knee, rear knee. And then you know you're gonna end with a kick. So kick, cross, lead elbow, lead knee, rear knee, lead kick. Very nice. All right. And we really have to have those foundations in place. That's very important. That's going to get our Jun Fan kickboxing going. And again, I will clarify if you haven't heard it or seen it before. I will clarify Jun Fan versus Jeet Kune Do as I teach it. Gene, can I borrow you? Okay. So I really got into explaining this last class, and if you're going to use this or if you're going to teach this, just like, you know, I have a K-12 background in education, like I have my doctorate, just like I cited all the sources for my doctoral dissertation. If you're going to use this, please give me credit, all right? Especially if you're going to use it exactly as I'm going to teach it to you. This is my trapping progression as I've developed it, and I'm pretty tickled with it because I get people fighting with this material instead of doing 101 trapping combinations from a high reference point, which I acknowledge is important in the very beginning. So we're going to be in a right lead. We start in a reference point in Jun Fan level 1, but this is a training posture only. The analogy, and I gave this earlier, I use this with adults and kids. This high reference point is training wheels. Our goal is to learn the material so we can ride a two-wheeler, and then we're going to take off the training wheels. And you'll see what I mean today. Okay, so number 1, slap and hit with a knife hand. And for that one, we're assuming I score. And obviously, I'm not going to hit my wife. Okay, but that's number 1. Let's change sides. Actually, this vantage will be good. So just slap and hit with a knife hand. And for number 1, we assume I was successful. Boom, I scored with that shot. Number 2, slap and hit, parry, pull and hit. So Pak Sao Lop Sao, she parries across center line. For the rest of these, she sees me coming, don't move quite yet. She doesn't want to get hit on the right side of her face, so she pushes past center line, and I pull and hit. So number 2 is Pak Sao Lop Sao, or slap and hit, pull and hit. And the only refinement I was giving earlier, we were looking at this in the kids class, and this is very important for everybody with any kind of a Wing Chun or a Jun Fan trapping background. When you lop, come closer, keep your thumb out of the equation. So don't lop like this, lop like this. Keep your thumb on top. So that motion's super slow, parry. See, I'm using, drop your hand. I'm using my 4 fingers with my thumb on top. I'm not grabbing with my thumb. So when I do that motion somewhat at speed, it looks like that, see? And I end up with my thumb on top. I'm not committed. I don't want to end up committed with my thumb here. One of my grappling instructors, when he teaches the Kimura, he always teaches the Kimura with this grab, and you only lay the thumbs in once you are sure you've secured the position. So to me, this is a universal concept in martial arts. Keep your thumb out of the equation. But anyways, Pak Sao, Lap Sao, that's our academy number 2. That's always number 2. Slap and hit, pull and hit. Number 3 and number 4, don't move your rear hand yet. Now I'm coming in straight with this vertical fist, with this Chung Choi. So she's going to stop me on center line or before center line. So 3, I go inside and I slap and hit. So number 3 is Pak Sao, Loi Pak Sao, or slap and hit to inside slap and hit. And with 3 and what I'll show you in a moment is 4, my favorite analogy is American football. So if I'm at the, Perry, if I'm at the 10-yard line, when I move in, I don't want a 15-yard penalty. I want to go from the 10-yard line, end zone, touchdown. Okay, so don't move that hand back. That's very important. Keep all the progress that you've made, boom, towards scoring that shot. That really comes into play on our number 4. And don't worry, there's only 7 of these, and you're almost more than half done. Okay, so 4 starts like 3, but I punch up this open line, and then I finish like 3. So 4 is slap and hit, punch to inside slap and hit. Whereas 3 was just slap and hit to inside slap and hit. And 3 and 4, let me just make this point. I'm going to do it wrong. Everybody watch me do it wrong. I'm telling you I'm doing it wrong on purpose. I'm going to do 4. Ready? I'm going to do it wrong. 1, 2, 3. Well, she's being super nice. Those lines aren't occupied. Okay, somebody who wasn't a family member and was helping me demo, somebody who didn't want to get punched in the face would react in some way, especially if their arms were free. So there's a lot of pressure. I slide. Everybody see that? I'm still attached. Boom. And then this would finish real heavy shot. So that's like I'm entering. 3 and 4 are the same that way. For 3, I want to, Perry, really come in. And I'm not going to stand there all day and admire my work. But boom, I want to score that shot, maybe transition to another art. But I want to, I really want to enter. Really important with 3 and 4 to enter. Okay, so we're ready for, I'm going to need you for a little while. Okay, so number 1, but we'll give a little for the people that are training by themselves. That's great. That way we're serving everybody's needs. If you're by yourself, you're in the right reference point. This is a left slap and a right knife hand. And you're trying to make that as, with no telegraphing, the least amount of telegraphic motion as possible. Okay? Number 2, you start like 1, but the person would parry this across their center line. So your left hand would come up and pull down to your left hip, and you would score with that shot. So I like to say, Wing Chun, Jun Fan, JKD trapping, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you don't do anything, I'm going to hit the right side of your face. If you parry, well, I'm going to reopen the line, and I'm going to hit the right side of your face. That's my goal, okay? So that's 2, Pak Sao, Lap Sao, slap and hit, pull and hit, number 2 of 7. Number 3, slap and hit, but come in with the vertical fist to inside slap and hit, right? So you start with slap and hit to inside slap and hit. Double slap and hit or slap and hit to inside slap and hit is number 3. Number 4 starts like 3, then you fire this left punch up the open line, and then you inside slap with your left hand and punch with the right hand like 3. So 4 and 3 are purposefully next to each other, because if you can do 3, number 4, is number 3 with one additional movement, which is that punch in the middle, okay? Number 5 is we start on the high reference point. It's going to be the outlier because we're going to start with a lopsao. I'm going to grab and hit, grab and hit. So whereas all the other ones we've slapped and hit, yes, we're going to start, we just turn this over and grab. We keep our thumb on top, knife hand with the left, then lop and knife hand on the right. I like the knife hands on those because you can really scan the area. If there's multiple opponents, you can still see the person out of your periphery, but that really allows you to kind of, you know, scan the area and see if there are multiple players involved. Okay, so that's our academy number 5. And okay, so let me bring Gene back in. I'll finish these, and then I'll show you what is so important about our approach, okay? So 5 is I pull and hit, and I pull and hit. So that's 5 with a partner, double lops out, double pull and hit. 6 and 7, and then we're done. And even if you're like, it's too much, the important part is I can conceptually show you where we go in the curriculum, which is why this is so important. 6 and 7 start like 1 and 2. She's going to pair, I'm going to start slap and hit with the knife hand. Now I'm going for Biu-ji right down the center line because she passed center line. But we're going to assume when I go for that, she raises her arm slightly and I get stuck. So that's called the wedge. So 6 and 7 are going to go pak, slap and hit with the knife hand, wedge. That's the first 2 motions. Slap, so start like 1. Your partner goes past center line. You're going for a left eye jab, whoop, but you get stuck on their left arm, okay? Now 6, slap this line open with your right hand and score with your left hand. So 6 is slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. Slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. If you don't have a partner, just stay here though. Slap and hit with your, and you slap with the left, hit with the right. Feed that Biu-ji with the left, but you get stuck on their arm. So slap with the right and score with the left. That's where you want to be. So pak, wedge, pak. Slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. Okay? So that's our number 6. Whereas number 7, first beat's the same, second beat's the same, but I'm going to pull and hit. So it's slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. Slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. So if you're by yourself, slap with the left, hit with the right, wedge with the left, pull with the left, and hit with the right. That's number 7. Okay, so now quick review for you. And again, this is all being recorded. You can watch it between now and next week. Number 1, slap, take your hand away. Slap and hit with the knife hand, and I score. Number 1. Number 2, slap and hit, pull and hit. Remember, 3 and 4 now I'm coming in with this vertical fist. 3, double slap and hit. 4, slap and hit, punch, inside slap and hit. 5, pull and hit, pull and hit. 6, slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. 7, slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. 7 basics. And again, a little bit is lost over the technology and a little bit is lost if you don't have a partner, but we're making the best out of it. Junfan level 1, we work that with the dominant side forward again. Junfan level 2, we looked at this last week, but I'm going to expand this. we start with entries. So I'm going to change the angle. Move down this way a little bit. If Jean moves in on me, boom, and I jam like that, that is one application of the G-Tech, the intercepting kick. Or, stay right there, if I train it offensively, if I move in to that shot, boom, on my own, that's the same low side kick, but it's done offensively. So the reason I'm showing you that, the first entry is the G-Tech. When we started training this, and we really developed this about 8 or 9 years ago, it was really awkward if you were the feeder to feed a step and slide for this one every time. So we started just doing it the second way that I just showed you. So she holds a right lead. Okay, so think about the last 7 trapping combinations that you just did. Number 1 was slap and hit with a knife hand, right? So without the reference point, G-Tech, number 1. See how, yes, beautiful, how I'm falling into that. If I score with the knife hand, it's number 1. If she parries across center line, G-Tech, Pak Sao, Lop Sao, slap and hit, pull and hit. That's number 2. Number 3 and number 4, I'm coming in straight. G-Tech, double Pak Sao, double slap and hit. 4, G-Tech, Pak, throw this punch, inside Pak Sao. 5 is the outlier. G-Tech, I just pull. Because remember, number 5 was double pull and hit. Double Lop Sao. 6, G-Tech, slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. 7, G-Tech, slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. So Junfon level 2, we introduced the first entry. That is the first entry. Now, this is a very important point, everybody. This is wrong, what I'm about to do. Please don't do this. This is one of my pet peeves. And if you see great martial artists doing this on video, I'm not saying I know more. I'm saying I disagree. I don't like this. So you don't want to do this. Ready? Hands up. G-Tech, reference point, trapping. You don't want to do that because remember, the whole point of the reference point was learning. You learn the basic 7 from the reference point. You know that line. Now you don't need it anymore, right? So if she's a southpaw and she's just holding her southpaw stance, I learned this line and how to destroy it, and then whatever response she gives me. I learned that line already from the high reference point training. Okay, so I'm going to go a few minutes over time here. In the interest of just showing you where things go, I'm going to stick with the first 4 of 7 trapping combinations. Now, don't get lost, because remember, everybody, even if you were by yourself, slap and hit, parry, pull and hit, that was number 2. Double slap and hit, that was 3. Slap and hit, punch, inside slap and hit. Everybody looked super solid, even if you were training on your own. Those were the first 4. In Junfon 3, we get the next 2 entries. So she jabs me, split to ball and socket. And number 1, I score. Number 2, she parries across center line because number 2 was Pak Sao Lop Sao. Number 3, she stops me on center line. So it's double Pak Sao, that's 3. 4, she stops me on center line, I punch and I inside Pak Sao. So those were the same 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were the same 4 just off that entry. And that entry might be new to you. So from this side, nice and slow, jab me, split to ball and socket. That's what we call it in JKD circles. In Wing Chun circles, leave this hand out of the equation. I'm going Pak Loida to Pak Noida, okay? But that's the second entry. The third entry, move out of range a little bit. Just hold your, hold your right lead. Take it one step forward. There we go. The third entry, fake high, kick low. Number 1, fake high, kick low, parry across center line. Number 2, parry on center line for the last 2. Fake high, kick low. Number 3, fake high, kick low. Number 4. So we would, if we had time, we would do all 7 all 7 basics. Out of those, we've done 3, the first 3. G-Tech into trapping was number 1. Split entry to ball and socket was number 2. Fake high to kick low to trapping was number 3. So 3 entries times 7 techniques, we have 21 techniques, but not really. We have 3 ways to get into 7 basics that we're trying to own. Entry number 4, super quick. There's 2 ways of doing it. Then I'm going to wrap things up here so I don't go too much over time. I am genuinely trying to hit her in the hip. And when I go and do that, you just kind of drop. Boom. She drops her lead hand. And I get the ping choi. And I trap the ping choi. Okay? Or, we'll change sides over here. The Junfan Gung Fu Institute of Seattle, they're not, don't move yet, they're not actually thinking about hitting. They like to, so now block this, fake to draw that low barrier and then come in high and trap it. Okay? So entry number 4 is the ping choi. Ping choi is a low reference point, but I am successful trapping that lead hand. Meaning, whichever one I do, here, boom, this hand is successfully trapped. If I score, it's number 1, parry across center line. If she parries across center line and I lop, it's number 2. If she stops me on center line and I come in, it's number 3. If she stops me on center line and I punch and come in, it's number 4. So we have 4 entries. So thank you. The idea, everybody, the whole curriculum, we have 7 entries that we learn throughout the curriculum. So 7, and as you saw, some of them are offensive and some of them are defensive. So again, 7 times 7 is 49, but not really, because we're not learning 49 different things. We're learning, trying to master 7 things and then having 7 different ways to get into them. Then we have 2 leads. So really we have 98 things. Or I could put you, as I do later in the curriculum, you have to do all of that material wearing boxing gloves. So we have 196 techniques, all right? But again, not really, because you're never really going beyond those 7 basic things. And the idea is we want to go through learning it in a high reference point only to really learn it. And then we want to, this is really Bruce Lee's gift to us with Jeet Kune Do. We want to start getting into entries so that we have a prayer of being able to fight with the material, offensively and defensively. And the reality is you're probably not going to use all 7. And you're definitely not going to use all 7 entries. But again, that's that kind of forced exposure. Okay? Last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to close, because again, I am over time and I appreciate your time. This and what I'm about to say, this is the way that it's been taught to me. Sorry. The Junfan Gung Fu is the set curriculum. The techniques, the drills, the combinations. It's the system or style. Jeet Kune Do then is the process or the philosophy of evolving your own tailor-made system of combat from the martial arts values that you explored in Junfan. So when you look at my curriculum, and I have it here, when you look at my curriculum, a Jun Fan level is typically longer. Like this is a good example here. So this is Jun Fan. You can just look at the amount of writing. There's Jun Fan level 1. So those are all a lot of the things that we were working on. Jun Fan level 1 and Jun Fan level 2 are the prerequisites for the JKD phase 1 exam. And the JKD phase 1, it's a lot of light sparring, contested energy drills. There's a few martial arts problems that you have to go research solutions for. It's more about performance and sharing out your own research and development. And that's the way that I organize things. Okay, so anybody have any questions? Fantastic. Let's bow the class out. I'll stop the recording and end this. You can bow out seated if you want. You're not going to offend me if you want to hold your cat. Okay. Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, and Japanese. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. We will we'll be back at it Wednesday, and the kids class 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, New York City time. Wednesday, 5 to 5:45 is CLOT. 5:45 to 6:30 is Filipino martial arts. Please make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I am literally going to render the 3 video files and upload them right now. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I'm so grateful that you would make time to attend all these classes. Thanks, everybody. All right. Good night.